here to see both Kathy and Donna, and a lot of other people, but particularly those two, out and free. I had all kinds of things that I was going to say, and then I was just thinking a lot about Sister Mary Marie and her incredible work and steps and the incredible work of this organization, but particularly the re-entry program and project. And just even the word re-entry, what that means, and how crucial it is that we support our sisters who are coming out of prison, having been traumatized once, usually before they get to prison in a big way, and then traumatized by being in prison. And I was thinking of saying a whole bunch of things, and then I went immediately to the Congo, where I spend a lot of time these days. And I haven't been in the country for about 4 or 5 months because I've been in Kabu. And I was thinking how in the Congo, I am privileged to be in a community of women who have built a place with B-Day called the City of Joy, which is an amazing revolutionary center for women who have been radically tortured and abused and raped during the ongoing war in the Congo, which has lasted for 13 years, killed 8 million people, and where thousands and thousands of women have been raped and tortured. But one of the things I was thinking about when I was listening to Sister Mary Marie talk was that all of the women at the City of Joy are stigmatized, completely stigmatized. They're raped women. The women who, once they've been raped, are exiled from their villages. They are cast out. Their children are usually the product of rape, and those children are cast out. And it's the cycle where perpetrators have made other people into exiled people who then make other people and further exile people and further exile people. And in the journey of people at City of Joy, one of the things that happens is there's a point in everybody's process where they come to terms with their perpetrator, where they face their perpetrator, where they deal with the person who has raped them. And the way people get free is by releasing that. And I was thinking about my journey at Bedford Hills and how much the women like Kathy, like Donna, like Judy, like Roz, like Cynthia, we can go down the list, in our group changed my life. I think we have an illusion and an insane idea that when people do bad deeds or wrong things, that rather than going to those people to reach out to them to find out what would have motivated those acts or what could have caused those acts, we punish and abandon them and then cast them off as if they're not of ours, not of us. And everyone is of us. Everyone is of us. And I think one of the wonderful things of being at the writing group at Bedford Hills for all those years is not only did I have the privilege and honor of sitting in a group with the most amazing women who every single group, and for hours at a time, plunged the depths of their souls to look at what motivated them to do their crimes, to take responsibility for their crimes, to look at their histories, to look at their stories, to look at their souls in the most honest, breathtaking way. Ways that I have to say I have never seen outside of prison, to be perfectly honest with you. And I think one of the things that I am struck by over and over is we live in a world, we live in a country where we have, 3 million people in prison now, which is the size of a small country. It's a country where the impoverished, where the people who have been radically abused, where people have been radically abandoned from early on, many of them. We're talking about a population of people who never ever got seen or recognized or helped or supported, then become further removed and further removed so they can be cast out further and further so they can then feel worse and worse and worse about themselves. And I have to say though, now having been in City of Joy all this time and watching women who are able to face their perpetrators and release their rage and hatred of their perpetrators and understanding that that is how they become free, I understand that our hatred of people in prisons and our fear and our resistance and our refusal of them is actually doing that to ourselves. And that's why we have a country of people who are no longer compassionate, no longer connected, very isolated, very selfish, and living a whole different world than the world we want to be living in. So I just want to say about STEPS and about this particular program, I can't think of anything more important than helping a woman in prison come out of prison into welcoming arms, come out of prison into a job, come out of prison into fortune, into community, into support. We leave women in prison, we leave all people in prison so much longer than they ever need to be. If we're going to talk about prisons at all, then why are we talking about them as places of transformation? Why aren't we talking about them as places where people get the support and the love and the nurturing they need to become other kind of people? Where they can come out and feel supported, and feel seen, and feel valued, feel like they have worth, rather than repeating and doing exactly the same things, so that people come out with no hope or possibility. And I just want to say that I look at Donna standing here today, and I look at Kathy standing here today, and it's so amazing to see them free, And I think it's just incredible. It's incredible. I know how hard they work for it, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, and literally. And I think of women who are still left in Bedford Hills. I think of the women and men who are throughout this country, locked away with no visibility, with completely unseen, unknown, unheard, just disappeared, another country. And we are all responsible for not only having them be seen, but also making that country our country. Because that country was created by this country. You know, that separate little universe over there. And I also want to say that I've been thinking, honestly, a lot about violence against women. That's all I think about every day of my life, every single minute of every single day. And I think one of the things we really have to be thinking about is the connections between women in prison and violence against women. I think one of the things that happens in the way I think the oppressed remain oppressed, in whether it's women who are violated or people of color who are violated in general, is that we don't make connections between things. I.e., if you're a woman who's been brought up and you were abused as a child and incested or raped, and then you got beaten later on, and then you got beaten again, and then you got raped again, something happens inside you that changes you. You actually become a different kind of person, and your choices don't seem very full. You don't have options. You're just living kind of with a wave or a momentum of terror and suffering that is pushing your life along. And then one day you wake up behind bars and you don't really understand how you got there. We all have to look at how many women in this city, in this world, in this country, who are being radically abused on a daily basis. Radically abused, whether it's abuse of poverty. I saw a statistic this week which said that mental illness in poor women turns out isn't mental illness, but it's poverty, right? These are the kind of connections we're not making. And I think, I just want to make one little plug for 1 Million Rising. We launched a huge, huge campaign this week, and it was unbelievable, the response. On February 14th, 2013, we're calling for the 1 billion women on the planet who will be raped or beaten in their lifetime. That's a UN statistic. To walk out of their jobs and schools and offices. It's going to be a strike, and all the men who love them to walk with them and to dance. It's going to be the largest global dance action ever on the history of the planet. And I have to say, this week we launched it. Over 5,000 groups around the world have signed up. Bishops in the Philippines, the Prime Minister of Nepal. I can't even tell you the insane things that are going on. There is really a revolution afoot. And we really want the women in prison all over this country to rise that day and to walk out any way they can, even if they dance in their cells, which is to dance. Because I really believe it is the women who are really the incarcerated women in this country hold the core of our soul. They hold the core of this country. They have been the people and the women who have been on the front lines of suffering and abuse and neglect. And when those women are free, we'll all be free. And I thank you with my heart for the extraordinary work you're doing and for this amazing program. And I urge everyone in this room to give whatever money, and money matters, support, love, advocacy you can to the women who are re-entering. Thank you very much.